Hey guys, welcome back once again. In this video, I am going to show you how to create a custom hook in ReactJS. So the hook we will create that will help us to fetch data from the API and it will return three states: error, loading and data. So why we are creating this? Already we have fetched, we can resolve the promise and we can get the data, right? So if you do remember, you have to write same line of code again and again. So how this hook will help you? Just you have to pass your URL and it will give you three states. So the first one is error. So if you are getting error as a null, that means you don't have any error. And if you are getting there something, it means error happened. Okay, if your API call got failed due to some reason. So those information you will get in error. Now let's talk about the second one. So second one you will get loading. Once you are making the backend call, so both are not in same server, so definitely there will be some delay. You will get loading value as a true until your API got succeed or failed. While loading, if you have a plan to show loader to the user, so definitely you can do by using loading state. Okay, so now the last one is data state. So once your API call got succeed, you will get response in your data. So let's say if your API got failed, data will be null. So based on that, you can easily manage wherever you want and you can write the code very easily. You don't have to write the repetitive code. And we will try to handle all the possibilities of error where it may happen. And here as you can see, I have already created a sample project and this is what it's running. Okay, so now here let me remove this boilerplate code and here I will call it as h2 react custom hooks. Okay, so we are getting at the top. So right now here let's come to the folder. And here I am creating a hook, so I will create a folder and call it as a hooks. Okay, so now let's create a file here. So useGetAPI, okay, .js. Right now here I have to write a component which can return these three states. Okay, so first of all I will import React from React. Okay, and here let's call it as const useGetAPI and arrow function. Okay, so right now we are trying to build a custom hook. It means name have to start with use. As you can see here, use, and you might have noticed the name of all hooks start with use. So we have to follow the same practice here. So use get API and here we will receive a URL. Okay, so now here we need three state first of all. So first state for the error, second for loading and third for data. So let's declare those states. So const error set error equal to, here I will use state. So use state and it's got imported from here. Let me import it from React. So use state and here initial value will be null. Now const here loading set loading equal to use state and this value will be initially true. Next here const data set data, this value will be again null. So use state and null. Now we have created all three states and now we have to make a API call. Okay, so in order to do that we will use a hook use effect. So for that here let's write use effect. Okay, so here let me import from React use effect and this is a function which is gonna to take two parameters. First is the callback function, okay, and second as a dependency. So here I will pass dependency as a URL. Okay, so whenever this URL get changed, this callback function have to get trigger. Okay, so now we are almost here, and right now we have to write our logic to perform the operation, means make a API call. So in order to make API call, here I am going to use Axios. If you want, you can go with the Fetch, there is no issue on that. Okay, so for that, here open terminal, new terminal, write yarn add Axios. Okay, so if you are using npm, so npm install Axios. Now I have installed. So here in use effect, right now I will use this Axios. So Axios, it got auto imported, and here right now we have to make this call. So URL dot, and it will return me a promise call. So then I will get here response, and as of now let's do console log to this response. Now let's export this hook. So export default useGetAPI. Come back here and const API data useGetAPI, and here we have to pass a URL. So right now we need a URL, so we can hit that URL and we can get the JSON data. So for that, here let's come placeholder fake API, and here as you can see we have post. So I just copied and I will paste it here. Okay, so if you can see here, right now I am passing this URL, means I will get here URL, and here I am passing to Axios, and at the last it's resolving the promise, and here doing console log. So come back here, go to inspect, and let's see what happened. So here as you can see I got a object useGetAPI from line number 10. So let's expand this one, and here as you can see I have 100 posts. So it's working. But right now if I do console log to this API data here, so API data, so let me refresh, and here as you can see I am getting undefined. And why I am getting this is because I am not returning anything from here. Okay, so right now what I have to do is, here I need to return this state before. So return, and here I will use object to return. So error loading, and here data. So right now if I come back there, I will get this error null, loading true, and data null. And if you do remember here, I am not making any change here. That's why I am getting the initial state in app.js. Okay, so right now here we got this data. So now let's update the state. So here we are getting the data, and if you do remember, in data as well we have this called field data. Okay, so whatever the response we are getting, that is the object which have one field called data, so we need to assign that. So here set data, and now I will assign to state, so response dot data. Now if you come back here, so as you can see this line is from app.js, line number 7, and here we are getting data, an array of 100 record. So right now let's handle catch block. So here dot catch, and here I will get error as a parameter, and I need to update error. So here set error, and I will pass this error. Okay, so right now here as you can see, then so once it is done, here I will do another one thing. So I will wrap in curly bracket, and I will write here set loading equal to false. Okay, so right now if it got error, I need to do the same thing here. So here I will set this array, I will set this error, and I will set this loading to false. So now if you can see here, let me refresh this page. So initially the error was null and loading true, data null. So this is the initial value what we have defined. But here error null, loading true, and data we got. So array 100. Right now error null, loading false, and here data 100. It means the last here we don't have any error, loading false, it means it had loaded and we have data here. So right now here let's handle try catch block. So it might be error can happen here. So I will write here try and I will push this code inside this. Okay, and here catch. So right now here I need to do the same. So if I got any error, set here error to error and set here loading false. So now it will work the same, but let's say something went wrong in URL or URL doesn't exist. In some cases here it will come to this block. If something went wrong in this block, it will come to catch block and it will execute that. Okay, so you might have noticed one thing. I wrote here set loading false, set loading false, and set loading false. The same code I have repeated thrice. Okay, so instead of doing this, what is the simple solution here is I can write a finally block. Okay, so here I can use this finally block and I can write here set loading equal to false. Okay, so I can remove this code. I don't need anymore. So finally block will execute each time. So if I talk about this try, so catch block will only execute once any error happen within this try block. Okay, so this is the optional, means error may happen or may not. But here this finally block will execute definitely. So let's come back here. And as you can see, we are returning here object. Okay, so we can destructure like that only. So here I don't need to write this API data. I can directly destructure here. So error, loading and data. Loading and data. And here order may change. So you can write data here and at last you can write loading. Okay, so right now here let me write a h3 tag and let's call it as loading, and here I will use loading symbol. So here I am writing if loading is true then show this. So right now let's get back here, let me refresh here. Okay, so here we got error that API data is undefined. So let's remove because we don't need anymore. Now refresh it. So as you can see, you can't see because it's really very fast here. So here right now I am going to network tab and here I will select slow 3G. Right now let me refresh here. So I should get that block here. As you can see, it came and it went because it was very fast. Okay, you can print error and here we might be getting null because we don't have anything in error. Let's change anything in API. So let's say I have changed S, and if I come here right now API should fail. So here let me make it as a fast, and here as you can see API got failed. I got 404 because this doesn't exist. So now here come to console and here it's saying as you can see uncached in promise error object are not valid as React child. So actually we are trying to render a object itself, that's why we are getting this error. So it's saying it has a property message, name, code, config, request and response. So let's print message here. So right now error have this error and let me write this message. So right now I am getting message cannot read property of null, because if you do remember error initial property is null. So I have to write here and condition and. Okay, so if error is there, go and fetch message, and here as you can see request failed with a status code 404. It means the URL itself not found. Got it? So here it's getting failed And if I print the value of data, I will have their null. Let me do console log here. So console.log data. So as you can see here, it's null. Okay, right now let me set this URL here. So post, right now I saved and come back here. Let me refresh. So here as you can see on UI I am not getting that error, and here I have 100 posts. Okay, let me loop through this post and show you. So here we have body, ID, title and user ID. So I will write here, if data is not null, so data dot map. Okay, and this will give me a single post. So post, and right now I will return the name of the post. So here paragraph and post dot title. Okay, so now if you come here, you can see all the title of the post. Okay, and here if I go and make this as a slow, so I hope we will be able to see that loading. Yeah, loading came and it went. Okay, so actually these things are happening very fast, that's why we are not able to see in a proper way. But if you are making a API call where it will really take let's say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, so you will be able to see these things. Okay, so as of now for loading I am rendering heading tag with message loading, but instead of that what you can do is you can enable a loader component which will rotate in between, and if you want you can have a progress bar. Means it's completely depend on you how you would like to do that. And this is apply with same with the message as well. If you have a notification component, you can send this message to the notification and notification will able to handle these things. Okay, and coming back here, as you have seen, we have set 3 state, and here we are using here AXIOS to make backend call, and here we are resolving the promise and setting the data. If something went wrong, we are setting the error. Finally, to make sure that this code doesn't fail, here we are wrapping this in try catch block. We are handling again this error in catch block, and finally we are setting this value to false. This is one of example of custom hook. So now if you want, you can make this code more shorter. So here I will remove this, and here I am writing a single block, so don't need to write in curly bracket. Okay, so readability I will improve. So right now as you can see, this code really look very good and neat. Okay, so there is a one more thing. So here as you can see, we are doing this object destructuring. So here we can write in any order. So what if here I am using array? So instead of this I am using here something like this: array error loading and data. Okay, so now here you need to handle the array destructuring. So it means here you cannot change the position. So at the first position you will get error. Okay, at the second position here you will get loading, and at the third position you will get data. And you can change here name of this variable, because array destructuring mainly work on indexes. So it's always better to go with object destructuring, because name have to be same and we can destructure in any format. So right now let's comment this one and let's uncomment this one. Okay guys, so in this video we have seen how to create a custom hook and make API call by using that, and maintain different state for error, loading and data. Okay guys, that's it for this video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in comment section. You can get download link of this code in description of this video. And if you love this video, please do like, share and subscribe. See you in next video.